All right, so here's the car. As you can see, I replaced that power steering pump. I also bought a new alternator because this is what the car is doing. I know some of you guys, I'm pretty sure those of you who watch my video own an SC300. So basically what was happening is when I turn my four ways on or I turn my blinkers on, the car would die. It's gotten worse over the years. So eventually, like from when I first had this car, I had issues, electrical issues. So when I get in my car every day, my tune will change. So I played with the tuning settings and played with the D-well, with the injectors, with the voltage, and to try to get it, because every time I get in my car, my voltage would change. So, and I thought it was because I'm mounting the battery in the back. So, I thought it was no way around it. I have a bunch of thick power wire, ground wires, everything. So I went through all that. So I figured that wasn't the issue. So I've just been chasing this thing for 4 years now, and I finally decided to bring this car in here and just go over everything. So basically what I did was I add new ground wires. I got a thicker ground wire back there, added a ground wire on the alternator over there, the factory ground wire that's under here on this side, and then that ground I ground and cleaned all the ground wire terminals. There's one here, there's one there, there's a ground wire back there, over there. Like I went through this whole car. There's one. See, the whole car is just torn. All this is just torn out. So there's a ground wire underneath there, above the fuse box. I took it out, re-ground it, cleaned the chassis to the ground connection, just cleaned everything. So underneath, and I also added another power wire to the alternator. So I got two power wires going to the battery, one going directly from the alternator to the battery. I also have a ground wire, as you can see, going through here, that's going and connecting to the bottom of the transmission. So that ground wire is going to the bottom of the transmission. Look at that 4-inch exhaust system. I need to redo it. So we got that. I actually got capacitors also as well to help keep the energy up front. So I got a capacitor. You might be able to, let me see. I got a capacitors for the engine because the trunk is mounted, the battery's mounted in the trunk on each power wire. So you might be able to see this capacitor. So let's see if you can see it. But see, that right there is the capacitor to help keep power and energy up front here. So it'll be closer, the energy will be closer to the engine. And I also have another capacitor. You won't be able to see it, but it's inside that panel right there. So I got a fuel cell in the car now. It's been baffled and everything. I got this temporary pump in here to help clean out the mess and stuff out of this tank, because I cut this tank open, re-welded it, and put baffles and stuff in it. So this is just temporary setup. Just get it over here. I'm getting rid of this fuel relay setup because even with those 3 relays, those relays get so hot that the pump will stop working. So with the pump controller, so basically what I'm doing is I'm going to go buy an air motor fuel pump relay for it. So fuel cooler still hooked up. There's all the wires going to the battery. So from the trunk. So that's basically it. Test these wires together. So I'm gonna go ahead and twist these wires together. Get the pump going. All right. So I temporarily got this in here. Make sure we're going. This is the first startup of it. Listen to that starter. So the tune's gonna be a little bit off because the issues I've been having with it, but so she's running rich. So she's not tuned correctly. She's got basically a bass map since I last had it tuned. Stress. That's what this is. This is stress, but I'm happy because the car is fixed. I'm ready. Yo, I'm ready. It's gonna be a lot of racing. But another thing that I forgot to say that I wanted to add was the lights, right? There are, for the blinker lights, because this is an issue I had with my car, where when I use my blinkers, you can hear my pump go. You can hear the pump. It was as soon as it hit the brake, it was going. So I've been that's one of the issues I've been dealing with years. So it'll go. And the air-free ratios will bounce around a little bit. So they'll bounce around just a little bit, but over the years it's gotten worse and worse and worse. So it got to the point that like my car starts shutting off because of using the blinkers. So now I'm gonna tell you something. If you own one of these Lexuses, well, if you own a Lexus, Lexus is but if you own a Lexus, right? There are 3 blinkers, right? And they're all 27 watt. I'm assuming you got 27 watt blinkers. If they're not LEDs, they're 27 watt blinkers, light bulbs in the back, and you got 1 in the front. So that's 4 total. 4 total. Okay, same thing with the other side, right side, left side. So that's a total of 8 blinkers on the car. The factory blinker switch is only rated for 4 27 watt bulbs. 4. You have a total of 8. So when I use my blinker, it'll go. My pump will go. And I realized this because I disconnected the back tail lights on the tail lights and left the front tail lights. Without my car even running, my fuel pump would just go boo. As soon as I start plugging up more bulbs, and then it starts. So basically, I think that over the years, the blinker switch is starting to mess up and causing it to draw more voltage because of all these lights coming on the car. So you're already maxing out the blinker, the lights or the blinker switch with just the turning signal. So that's the reason why people say, you know, if you have problems with your car dimming or car running funny, your SC300 running funny, it's probably because of the blinker switch, because it's not rated for all these lights. So I just put all LED lights in it, and I bought a different style blinker switch. So when that comes in the mail and I do everything, I'll do a review on it. That's why I bought the new headlights and everything, because just trying to get rid of all the electrical issues like the draw and everything. So my pump shouldn't be and the thing is, the pump's not even hooked up to the system. So like my pumps are all wired directly from the battery from the trunk. So it does not run through anything that has anything to do with the light. So that means my battery is getting drained. And if you put the test light going between the positive and the positive and the negative terminal with a test light, you can sit there and watch the light dim, bright, and dim, bright. That's how much current that blinker switch was pulling from the system, because it was literally just straight directly from the battery. The light, everything. The whole car, if it dimmed up here, a test light directly hooked directly to the battery with them. So that was one of the issues with this car. So that's been replaced. Like I said, all new ground. So I hope somebody out there got the same problem, and now you can fix it, because that's basically what it is. You know, if you probably can take out the other 3 bulbs and actually throw an LED in there, and it might fix your problems, because you know LED bulbs only pull 1.5 watts, and so you can buy like an 18 watt, or you can leave one bulb in the back and put 2 LED bulbs, and it might solve your issue. So like I said, that's what was going on with my car. So you know, so yeah, like I was saying, so basically if you're confused, if you leave one 27 watt light bulb on your turning signals, or you can just do that, or you can put 2 LED, if you like it real bright, you can put 2 LED lights and one 27 watt light bulb in there, leave it in there so it won't draw as much current, and you could probably still be able to use your factory blinker switch, because it's still picking up that 27 watt bulb that you left in there. So it's going to pick up that 27 and plus the other LED lights. So I'm assuming it'll work, because it's going to pick up the reading from that 27. But as long as you don't got 3 27 watt lights back there, you should be all right. But I just going straight LEDs on everything. So hope this video helps somebody. And I know, you know, I hope it helps somebody. I see that people usually have problems with the lights dimming. So, all right. Thank you for watching.